The moment I realized my ladder was gone, after carrying 30 pounds of nails up 5 flights of stairs, my hands started shaking, not from the weight, from the disrespect. Because on a construction site, where I was already fighting to be taken seriously, someone decided my effort didn't matter. So later that day, while everyone laughed and relaxed on break, I made a quiet decision. If he wanted to treat me like I didn't exist, I was about to make sure he couldn't ignore me anymore. If you enjoy revenge stories where patience turns into perfectly timed payback, hit that like button and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been disrespected at work just because people thought you wouldn't fight back? Because this story proves sometimes the strongest revenge is completely silent. My name is Lena, and I've worked construction for nearly 8 years. With framing apartment complexes, early mornings, dust in your lungs, callous hands, and most days being the only woman on site, you learn very quickly that survival isn't just about physical strength. It's about emotional control. Because if you snap, you're labeled difficult. If you stay quiet, you're labeled weak. So you walk this invisible tightrope every single day, proving yourself over and over, not just with your work, but with your attitude. The job site that week was a massive 6-story project in Phoenix, Arizona. Dry heat, constant hammering echoes, the smell of fresh timber everywhere. We worked floor by floor. Once a level was framed, we moved upward like ants building a wooden mountain. One of the biggest daily frustrations was ladders. People would leave them behind constantly. So that morning I took initiative. I gathered every abandoned ladder I could find, stacked them neatly by size on the far side of the floor. 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot. It took effort, but organization saves time, and time saves energy. Then I grabbed my personal 6-foot ladder, my nail gun, and got started framing a wall section. About an hour later, I ran out of nails, which meant the dreaded trip, down 5 flights, to the storage container, then back up carrying 3 heavy boxes digging into my forearms, my shirt sticking to my back, breathing sharp and hot. When I finally reached my work area again, I froze. My ladder was gone. At first I thought I misplaced it, maybe moved it without thinking. Then I saw him, Travis, standing 20 feet away, using my ladder like it had always been his. I walked over trying to stay calm. "Hey, why didn't you grab one from the pile?" He didn't even look guilty, just shrugged. "Why can't you?" That sentence hit harder than the stairs, because he knew exactly what he was doing. On that site, respect was currency, and he had just publicly devalued mine. If I had taken someone's ladder while a pile sat in plain sight, I would have been roasted alive. But for him, it was a joke. The unfairness sat heavy in my chest the rest of the morning, not explosive anger. Worse, cold simmering frustration. Every hammer strike louder than usual. Every laugh from a crew sounding sharper. By lunchtime, I wasn't just tired. I was done. Done pretending the double standards didn't exist. Done pretending small disrespect didn't matter. So while everyone headed to their trucks or the brake trailer, I disappeared into the only quiet place available, the portable toilet. Not glamorous, but private. That's where the idea formed. Slow, calculated, petty, perfect. Before break, I had noticed where Travis left his tool pouches. Heavy leather belt system filled with his gear, his pride, his livelihood. When the site went quiet, I slipped out, walked straight to his setup, my heart pounding, so loud I was sure someone could hear it. I set the pouch on the plywood floor, picked up my nail gun, then paused. Last chance to walk away. But then I remembered the stairs, the shrug, the laughter, thud. First nail fired clean through an existing belt hole into the wood. Then another. Then another. I didn't rush. I switched nail sizes deliberately. 4-inch, 6-inch. Even grabbed lag screws from a nearby bucket, driving them deep, bending the tips over underneath so they couldn't be yanked out. The pouch wasn't damaged, just anchored, like a flag planted in territory. By the time I finished, it was secured so thoroughly you'd need tools and time to free it. Then I vanished back to my framing section like nothing happened. Break ended. Noise returned. Boots stomping. Music playing. About 10 minutes later, I heard it. A confused grunt. Then silence. Then louder movement. Metal clanking. Someone muttering curses under their breath. I didn't turn around. Didn't smirk. Just kept working. Because the best revenge isn't loud celebration. It's quiet balance being restored. Later that afternoon, Travis walked past me. No jokes. No swagger. Just dust on his jeans and frustration in his eyes. He never accused me. Never even mentioned the latter incident again. But something had shifted. From that day forward, my tools stayed untouched. My space respected. And the crew? They started treating me less like an outsider and more like part of the structure, holding the building up. Revenge doesn't always need shouting. Sometimes it just needs precision. Sometimes people only understand fairness when they experience inconvenience themselves. And sometimes standing your ground quietly speaks louder than any argument. If this story gave you that satisfying revenge feeling, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And tell me below, what's the pettiest but most satisfying workplace revenge you've ever seen? Because let's be honest, jobs build paychecks, but drama builds stories.